Welcome, Biders, to the Bide podcast, brought you from Bide, Barcelona International Dance Exchange. We now start our 9th episodes. Today we interview Clementine Vanlenberghe, dancer and choreographer from Lille, France. Clementine studied dance with Caroline Carson at the CCN en Roubaix and participated in creation by Caroline Carson in Roubaix region of France. In 2011, she graduated with a BA in Contemporary Dance at the Artes House School in INAEM in Netherlands, and a collaborator of Bide also. Since then, she developed various artistic collaborations, mainly as a dancer between the Netherlands and the north of France. As a performer, she has danced with Amélie Poultrier, Françoise Tantinville, Pierre Rouget, and many others. And as a choreographer, he debuted with a piece called Plus Belle. Clementine participates with Nouvelles Bals du Nord Pas du Calais, an Erasmus Plus winning project and the position of woman in performing arts. These include 3 European partners, and Bide is one of them. And we are super happy to have Clementine with us, and we just finished the event here in Barcelona. So welcome, Clementine, to the Bide podcast.
Thank you.
We usually start our interviews asking us to our friends a little about your background, so everybody can know a bit from where came this decision of you to landing into the dance field or movement field or performing field, as you want to call it. So the first question is if you can tell us a little bit how you start, introduce yourself in the dance field, and how was you make this Caroline Carson creation, participation, and formation that maybe drives you a bit to where you are right now.
So at the very beginning, dance was for me, as a little girl, I went to dance, 6 years old, a bit like this classical way of starting with ballet and everything. And then I discovered contemporary dance as a teenager, and suddenly everything seemed much more open, like the way of expressing myself and everything. So I was in pre-professional schools, going to boarding school, like being very, very motivated by it. And then when I was 18 years old, still in the school, finishing my high school studies, we had a show with the school, and Caroline Carson was there. She saw it, and she had just arrived in Roubaix, and she invited me to be an apprentice to the company. So I really just went for it because it seemed like she would be a great master. And 18 years old, I was looking for this. I was looking for learning much more, also about the performativity, not only technique. This went a bit late. This came a bit later. But to really just be in contact, be in touch with a professional company, with a lot of dancers, a lot of different projects. And she has a really great mind of performativity, improvisation. I really learned a lot from her. And I have to say that even this was like 15 years ago, and I did many, many things since then. Her teaching is still with me.
Super. And how was the decision to move to Holland and make your let's say official study there? Was that after, no?
When I was in France, then I was also working with some companies in Lille, but I was quite young, so at some point I felt like I couldn't really go on. I felt like I missed some tools to be a professional dancer. I was not very sure of myself, and I felt like having at the same time a professional education, but also moving to another country would really help me, with meeting new ways also of dancing, new ways of thinking also of what a performance can be. So France, is quite a big country in a way, so it has a big scene. But at the time, education in dance in France was really, really formal. And so I started to look a little bit. I knew I liked Belgium, Holland as, countries. They kind of were appealing to me. So then I went to Artes, did the audition and everything, but the process of moving abroad and knowing that I would meet a different scene, meet also a lot of international people, because I don't know how many nationalities were in the school. For me, it was really a way to broaden the horizon of dance.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually, you have a strong group of dancers with you that most of them participate in Bide after, because we collaborated with Arde for many years. And also, you're a really friend of Fabricia, who was part of the team for many years also into the Bide. How was this for 4 years, no? Is how the...
it's supposed to be 4 years, but
for how long you stayed?
I stayed a bit less because I was already engaged in professional groups, and I really was there studying for 2 years. It was really, really intense because we had the regular curriculum with a lot of technical classes, improvisation classes, and also other matters related to dance. And but I was also so eager to be engaged in creative processes that every evening we were rehearsing with some students in choreography or doing our own projects. So it was really 2 really intense years of being in school from early in the morning until really late at night. Arnhem is not a big city, I would say, compared, for instance, to Barcelona. It has nothing to do. It's quite a provincial, small town. So there were not so many shows to go to see, or, a lot of activities outside of the school. So we were really going, diving totally into, just being there and dance and create.
Super. And as you mentioned before, you jumped really quickly to start to be dancing with many choreographers. We named some of them. So how was for you to start to collaborate with different mindset comparing to Caroline? No, and also for you, how was the more, in a way, the more challenging experience for you, and also the more relevant experience for you?
I would say, for instance, I never really worked with choreographers who are very into creating material and transmitting it. I was mostly engaging with people that, they are relying also on the creativity of their performers. So I would say actually that the most difficult things I did were probably in school, which were really repertoire pieces that I was like, okay, this is really hard. This is not what I want to do. So then really becoming a freelancer and being able to also navigate, through people you really want to work with. And actually... now for 7 years, I work with Amélie Poirier, who is the director of Les Nouveaux Ballets du Nord-Pas-de-Calais, with whom we came for the Erasmus Plus project, and I worked with her for 7 years. And it was at the same time, it is an amazing encounter to work with her artistically, and at the same time she was also in every project because she's very interdisciplinary. She works with puppets, theater, and dance. So I learned every new process, a lot of new things that were sometimes confronting artistically. So I would say this is
Super. And from this experience, also you start to have the eager of creating something by yourself. And how was these first steps to give you the space also to be you, the choreographer and the driver of the project?
It took a few years. It was not something that I was always clear with. I would say I always choreographed. I always liked to create things, but I never thought, at the beginning at least, I never thought that it would become also a job, or whatever you can put it, or that I would sign pieces with my name or projects with my name. And it's actually quite interesting because I feel like it took also encounters with people that I could feel also their confidence as a performer as well. And eventually, I think with Fabrizia that we started to work together. It's not coincidence. Like she kind of, we kind of supported each other in order to create our first piece together. But she had done work before, but this was my really first professional work. So it was a big step, like for me to suddenly be more, not just a performer, but also someone who says, okay, this is what I do. If you give me more the keys, let's say, of the house.
And how you develop, because we know each other for many years, and you know also you are involved in dance pieces that are maybe, let's say, for the professionals profile of viewers, but also you work with community dance project, also with kids. You're a mom also. So how you develop this, let's say this big stylish type of making pieces?
Well, I think it's been part of my professional field for I think as long as I can remember, to do work, let's say, that were not made only for theaters. And I think I performed more in I don't know, like schools or wedding rooms, or I don't know, how do you say, like salle polyvalente. Yes, let's say small cultural center or places that can be used for anything. So I think when I created my company, this was also something I was really eager to do as well, because I realized that meeting this audience was also sometimes very frustrating, because you feel like, okay, this is a never-ending work of meeting new audiences. Maybe they will be not so how do you say, like receiving what you're doing, and at the same time there is just I don't know. I feel it's almost part now of my DNA as an artist, because I've done it with many companies. In France, it's also something that's really, really...
it's common.
It's very common. In the north of France, even more. They're putting a lot of effort and money into cultural actions. And I would say it's part of my DNA now as an artist. I have a hard time imagining projects that are not having a part of community, or making also the piece very easily transformed into, how do you say, location piece. It's just like this.
Super. So if we go a little more forward, we can come to the moment that you start to work with the Nouveaux Ballets du Nord Pas de Calais. And how was the idea behind approaching the Erasmus Plus program and introducing this amazing project that we are super happy to be part of?
So the project was initiated by Les Nouveaux Ballets, so by Amélie and also Suzy, who is a production manager, and they put this project together because already for a few years with several artists we were meeting. Amélie had her company for a bit more years, and she had a bit more experience. So we were exchanging a lot about practice and how we could maybe, I don't know, contact this person or find a space, really just kind of supporting each other, also artistically exchanging about our artistic research. So it was with Sophie Mayeux and Audrey Robin, and then Amélie Poirier, Suzy Gournay, and me. And so because we had these kind of sessions together and we were working together, it made sense to have a project that was also kind of discussing from our point of view as a group, but also as individuals, what we were not only this, but we were women in performing arts. And so, how could we kind of continue to share our experience with other people as well about this theme?
And you said that we are with Sophie. Now we will be introduce Sophie also to the conversation. And how was this teamwork? Because you also traveled to different countries before the COVID crisis, and you also invite other women artists. So how was the idea behind these roles of each of you guys working with this what is being a woman in the performing field nowadays, because now in Europe the performing gender is a strong thing, and some countries like Holland, for example, are super eager to pursue this approach. And also for Bide, we are working the last 2 years with this theme. So how was this splitting with each other and going forward and also traveling from different cities from Lille?
I think we first, actually quite naturally, we used the strength of each of us. Some of us had more network, some of us had more like organization skills. So I would say it was a bit organic, the way we organized. It went quite fast, I have to say also. The first phase was that during a festival that Amélie organized, we invited some people from the three partners that we had, and we made sessions of workshops, of talks, some conference also, a talk from an organization called HF. It was kind of the bit like opening the box about this theme. And then the second phase that we are now almost done with, it was more us traveling to these three places and meeting really the landscape of the partners, and meeting pre-COVID, we were meeting also women coming, and we would organize a workshop, like more amateur women, like a group, more like in the spirit of community work. Now with the COVID, it's a bit more complicated, and we meet mostly professional artists or producers.
And maybe it can be great also to have your point of view, Sophie, if you want. How was for you this experience so far, and what type of experience you matched during this traveling, and also with this not nice break up with the COVID stuff, but finally we get it. We are here in Barcelona, and we are at the end of the art of this project. How was for you this?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sophie. As Clementine said, for me it was really interesting to meet all these different women. Sometimes we met women from the performing art field, but we also met women that are not in the performing art field. So we could also compare from different cities and different countries. How is it to be a woman in the field of performing art? So that was interesting also to relate it to our experience as we have in France, and also to see the differences, for example, from northern countries to southern countries. And also in Barcelona, the experience was interesting because we met also women that were not Spanish, from Catalonia, but they were from Latin America. So it opened a bit more our perspective, because we had feedback and from outside Europe as well. So it's like the next step, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it can be the next step to do it also more, outside the Europe umbrella. And actually, you named something about the north and the south of France. So you find it different how this woman in performance topic works in the north and in the south of France, in your experience?
Yes, we noticed a bit that. For example, we did a second stop in the Netherlands, and things are a bit, I feel, are a bit less problematic with the. I feel I talk from myself from the perspective like of machism or like patriarchy society. I feel there are less pressure on the woman there. At least is what I got from the girls when we were exchanging about that. And of course, obviously, when we go to southern country, this problem is a bit more obvious and more problematic for the woman, I feel. Yeah.
And since when you start to work with Clem? Since when you?
It's very funny. Actually, with Clem, we have the same similar background. I went to Artes as well, and actually, it's Clementine who told me that there's a good school in the Netherlands, and I should go to Artes.
I be quitted. Come and replace me. Something like that.
But it's funny because I didn't know Clementine before, and I asked her. I knew she was going to the Netherlands, and I asked her like, "Where did you go?" And she told me like Artes, and I went there as well. And then we finished to work with the same company in France as well. So it's very funny. We are following each other.
Yeah, and you collaborate with other choreographers, no? So how for you, you know, at the end of this experience of the woman in performance, what do you think, Sophie, that you bring to your place, you know, when you be back on Lille in tomorrow after this session in Barcelona, but after mainly about the whole process that started like 1.5 years ago?
I think what I've learned like the most is that I feel I feel that I can take more my space as a maker and as a woman in the field of performing art. And what I've learned is that I should also dare to also feel legitimate to do what I do and to not question too much. Am I in the right place? Can I tell this person to do that or not? Or that's mainly the main thing I got from this project. Yes.
Super. And I would like to ask you, Clem, how was it? Because as we said in the beginning, because of this COVID crisis, we had we missed the chance to be together last year during the Bide event, because you was around Bide for many years, and we know you also through common friends and collaborators. So what is your take about this Bide idea of the non-hierarchical the transversal and non-hierarchical system of learning from each other, and also share different type of practices?
Actually, we did a very short B-Lab on Sunday when we came to La Caldera. And actually, it made me realize a lot. Also, when I do projects with kids or adults, or I lead a workshop, and I would say I lead a workshop, and I realized that I would really come also from a place of knowing or being a bit more, I have knowledge. And this really questioned me also about what the practice of dance and why we do it, why people would come to a workshop, why people, what they are expecting, that maybe personally, that I can take maybe a small step towards also bit more fluid, let's say, proposition in workshops, even if it's not with professionals. I would say also it's different from so far for me, for a creation process or a workshop process. I'm still questioning it, and at the same time I realize that my practice is evolving a lot in the last years, mainly because as a normal person I still grow up, and I try to be curious also. So yeah, I would say also as a young choreographer, that yeah, of course, things are happening in the studio, but I also work with other people. No, as a choreographer, I work with my production manager. I work with someone on the technique, on the light, on the music, and that already on this collaborator, it's like how maybe I am the one that brings the project together, but how can we work together and make it happen together with these tools?
And before I make the last questions, if you go back, in time and you meet with this young Clementine who started to take some dance classes and then work with Caroline Carlson. So what is your take now after so many years? You say how many years since you dance with her? Like 12 years or something like that? 15. Okay, so sorry. So 15 is a long time, and also some people don't know, but the ones who like us belong to the dance field, like 1 year is like 7 years of a regular person, because we need to explore many aspects of ourselves, and the time is super intense at the same time. So what do you say to the young Clementine nowadays, looking back these 15 years of experience, learning, exploring, and making all the things that you already made?
I would tell her, remember, this is fun. Yeah, because sometimes I think I forgot. I was very, very serious. So remember, this is fun. And the pleasure is one really important part. And also something that Sophie said, no, take space, it's fine. If you are here, you can be here. So take the space, it's okay. Like there's no problem in taking space, and just be proud of what you do and how you do it.
Absolutely. So, and I have two more questions. And the next one is about how is the situation in Lille? Because France have the theater closed with the COVID crisis since a lot of months ago. And what is your take on what is possible? When you be back home tomorrow.
The theaters are closed now for the second time since the beginning of November. So that starts to be a long time. We try to find strategies. For instance, performing with kids was still possible in schools. Trying to not performing in theaters, but in schools or in other spaces. Teaching was still a bit possible, but only in schools as well. Basically, schools were still were the only thing was left open. Rehearsals are still possible. So, for instance, I have a creation process going on with a premiere normally in November. So I can work on my piece, hoping that I can perform it normally. But it's very frustrating because we have a good system of support for artists and technicians or people working in the culture with the intermittence. So we are supported financially. But even this is a bit like in crisis at the moment. For a month now, I think some people are occupying empty theaters that are not used. I think 100 of them now in France. But I'm quite curious to see what will happen when the theaters can open again. Like, what will this movement... will this movement still have a voice when the theaters are open? No?
And the last thing that we like to ask to our friends who participate at the podcast is, what is the future for Clementine? Not just, but what is let's say the future that you can imagine from now on? What is in your mind? What is coming?
This is a difficult question. My future, like, let's say, I would say two kind of future. The really near future. So the near future is for me to yeah, as I said, like to do my piece, it's a solo, so it's a big step for me to be able also to take space as a solo performer, which is really a big step. So that's why it's really important for me to talk about this this project also, because it's talking about tears and emotions and how we can still be together, which at the moment is very important. So maybe the future I imagine is that we can I still want to connect with people through dance, which is a bit frustrating right now. It's a bit more difficult, so that I still want to connect with many people with the dance, and still be able to do it without struggling so much, and going for the soft spots everywhere I can find.
And the far future?
And the far future, this is very hard. I'm not so much, how do you say, like, capable of projecting myself. I usually work quite to the short term. So, I think it's a bit the same, no? Have fun.
And yeah, absolutely. So it's super interesting to hear you, and also Sophie, because sometimes people who are or tend to idealize what is to be, for example, a dancer or choreographer in France, and thinking that it's super easy and everything is coming super with the open doors, and it's not like this at all. I mean, you have a good system, but you need to work it out. So it's
at least when the thing is that we can the aim of this system is that you can really focus on your artistry, and you don't have to find so many jobs that maybe are completely unrelated to art to continue to just live in a comfortable way. So at least it enables it makes it possible, to be fully on your artist life. But as you said, it's never easy, because being an artist, it goes up, it goes down. It's not so linear.
No, at all. And also, the trap of this kind of system that also happens in Belgium, in Holland, and other countries like Switzerland or the UK, is that also you can easily, lose your focus and basically your curiosity and having fun. So it's super interesting and also visible that you still looking for spaces to feed your curiosity as an artist, also as a woman and as a person, but also at the same time, going forward and match yourself with challenges like this project that we have the luxury of sharing with you guys. So we want to thank you so much,
thank you,
Clem, and also Sophie, to be with us, and I hope that the people who are listening right now enjoy really what Clem's and Sophie share with us. So see you in the next Bide podcast, and looking forward for the next one.